What's going on, everybody? Dennis Farrell with another fantasy selfie, talking a little fantasy football and some news out of training camp that might affect your fantasy football drafts. Number one on my list of news that needs to be said right now is a backup job for Arian Foster. It was going to be Andre Brown and Dennis Johnson. Both these guys got released. A little bit of shocking news for me. Now it's going to be Jonathan Grimes and Alfred Blue, the rookie. Both these guys do not have an ADP right now, so you could almost pick them up in the last round or even off the waiver wires if need be. But do it quick. It's not a matter of if, it's when Arian Foster gets hurt. Next on my list of stuff that we need to keep an eye on, people inside the Arizona Cardinals organization truly believe Michael Floyd will outproduce Larry Fitzgerald this season, becoming the #1 fantasy wide receiver on that team. Now, I don't disagree with that. Larry Fitzgerald's been pretty decent from here on out, but I kind of believe that, this is going to be a Michael Floyd team this season. Michael Floyd has a fairly, attractive ADP right now, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Tavon Austin. Now, Torrey Holt came out and said Tavon Austin is not looking good in camp, and he believes that he may be a special team starter at best this season. Now, I kind of agree with him. We haven't seen anything out of him in his first preseason game. But a guy I am going to kind of keep an eye on is Kenny Britt. He's almost going 2 rounds later. I think Tavon Austin's going round 10. Kenny Britt's going round 13 in 12-team leagues. But keep an eye on Kenny Britt. I really do like him this season, and the cost will not hurt you at all if I'm wrong, which I probably won't be, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Keep an eye on Jeremy Hill this season. Everybody's drafted him about round 9. People widely believe he was going to get the majority of red zone carries, but people also forget that last season, 4 out of 5 of Giovanni Bernard's touchdowns came in the red zone within 10 yards. I do think it'll continue this much. I do have Jeremy Hill, though, slated for about 115 touches, 570 yards, and 4 touchdowns. That's fairly low than most people are projecting for him. It's a rookie, and I still believe in Jarvis Green-Ellis will have some sort of role on this team. Next on the list is Brandon Pettigrew. Right now without an ADP, but it was a very murky waters when it came to tight ends here in Detroit. They had Brandon Pettigrew. They had Joseph Foria. And now they went out and drafted Eric Ebron, who everybody thinks is going to be the next Jimmy Graham. Well, they come out and say, Detroit Lions, that they believe that Brandon Pettigrew is going to be a blocking tight end only, which means I kind of like, Joseph Foria and Eric Ebron. Ebron's the only guy with an ADP right now. His ADP rate is at 145 overall, 12th round. Joseph Foria isn't, but I do believe Joseph Foria will get the majority of red zone targets. And finally, Jeremy Maclin. About a year now after tearing his ACL, he's back, he's looking good, and he's expected to take the role of Deshaun Jackson since he bolted over to Washington. I really like him. He has an ADP of 5, but if he falls to the 6th round, it'll be much more attractive to me in 12-team leagues. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Dennis77Farrell. You can follow me on Facebook, Dennis Farrell, Farrell. If you have a fantasy question, feel free to shoot me an email, Dennis77Farrell@gmail.com, and head over to the Fantasy Chronicles to see what I've been up to. And as always, Hail Hydra.